Once again, an American guy has arrived. It's not surprising for me to encounter many foreign visitors, considering I own and operate a small resort hotel in Dumaguete. Yet, given the considerable distance between here and America, it's noteworthy that the population of American expatriates here is quite substantial. I've pondered that the greater the distance between one's current location and home, the more an expatriate tends to undervalue their homeland. If not for this sentiment, expats might have chosen a Caribbean island, where they could swiftly return to America for any conceivable reason. Recently, another American, who left his home country behind, arrived here. What's more, he's of such an advanced age that he might conclude his life here without revisiting his homeland, just like John did, the 74-year-old American who came here 2 years ago. At first, John booked a week's stay at my hotel through the internet. During this time, he searched for a reasonably priced and pleasant condo or house. Eventually, he settled into a house on the hillside, where he remained until his final day. The house owner discovered his lifeless body when he arrived to collect the rent. Lack of response prompted him to enter the house, where he found John's body in an advanced state of decomposition. Regrettably for the owner, no one came forward to remove the decomposed body, even after completing a series of official procedures. Despite being informed by a Filipino officer that American embassy personnel would arrive in a week to handle the cleanup and cover the expenses incurred by the owner, he was unwilling to spend any more on the remains. Nevertheless, the anticipation of a worsening stench from the decomposed body compelled the owner to take action. He hired day workers to temporarily bury it with lime, placing a makeshift shroud behind the house using a black tarp. This served as a more economical alternative to using dry ice. While waiting for the uncertain arrival of embassy personnel, there was a dog named Born, accompanied by a lady who ran a sari store and a small restaurant catering to workers like tricycle drivers. While her business wasn't thriving, it managed to yield a modest profit. Born wasn't just a pet but served as a watchdog, barking at strangers approaching the store at night, a common precaution in the Philippines. Born received leftover meals from the restaurant, though limited, and he was consistently hungry. Nevertheless, Born enjoyed freedom without confinement or restraints, being allowed to roam freely. One day, the lady was engrossed in her work at the restaurant, ignoring Born, who was typically left to his own devices. She heard a sound resembling a momentary panic among the diners. Investigating, she discovered Born chewing on a bone emitting a foul, rotten smell. At first, she considered that the bone might be from a deceased buffalo or pig. However, in the next moment, she became concerned about the potential responsibility if Born had caused harm to a farm animal, and obtained the bone. She quickly took the bone away from Born, despite his protests, and placed it in a storage box, securely sealing it with a lock. Later that night, she had her husband bury it deep in the soil to prevent Born from accessing it. Next day, news was circulating in the village. Of course, the madam heard the news that not only stray dogs but also house dogs were seen biting human bones, which was soon found to be John's. A few months later, a rumor was circulating in the village that all incidents around John were attributed to the curse of dogs. This was because John, being a notorious dog breeder in America, was rumored to have buried deadstock dogs alive, leading to his arrest and imprisonment. During that period, a slang term, John Bone or John Born, emerged, signifying expressions like "you asked for it" or "a situation with no escape on this earth." Of course, it is available exclusively in Dumaguete. I always hope that each guest our welcome here will have a safe stay without any unfortunate incidents. If I were the owner of the house where John passed away, I wonder what actions I would take for him and how much money I would have to spend on handling John's deceased body. And what could happen that's even worse for me, though Born is not present here fortunately.